You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Monday, January 7th, 2019. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are going to be embracing the new year and talking about how to become more holy. Yes, that's right. This week's topic is about holiness. Now, as you might guess, holiness is something that we will be questing after our entire life. Even as adults, perhaps even more so as adults, we are constantly trying to live better and to become more holy. So our goal this week is just to help you understand what holiness is and how we can possibly move closer to holiness this year. Because let me tell you, my friends, becoming more holy should be the number one goal in your life. Maybe you don't set New Year's resolutions yet, and that's perfectly fine. But if you do, it should be your number one resolution. Making our souls more holy and acceptable to God is truly the only work that matters in this life. So today we are going to talk about what holiness is and how we can start making progress toward holiness. So first of all, holiness is a sort of big term. We can use it to describe a lot of things, but generally holiness means becoming more like God and letting go or moving away from sin. So first of all, let's talk about what is God like. Now, if you were around during Advent, we talked a lot about what God is like. We looked at a whole bunch of stories from the Old Testament, and we wondered, what does this reveal to us about God? So we know, first of all, that God is love. That's what He is. God knows each of us by name. He cares about each of us individually. He created us. He cares intimately about what we think and we feel. We also know, however, that God is not pushy, that He will always be there with His love, but He has given us free will because He wants our love in return to be a choice. He treats us as sons and daughters, not as servants that have to do what He orders. We also know that God is an ocean of mercy. Yes, we sin. We sin far too often. But we can really count on the fact that God will forgive us. If we approach Him truly sorry for what we've done and determined to do better, God will always, always forgive us. And finally, we know that God is faithful. Throughout the Old Testament, He made a promise that He would send a Messiah, that He would bring His people to the promised land, that He would be with them and defend them if they stayed obedient to Him. And He followed through on that. He was faithful. He was unshakable. So these are the three things that we know about God. He is an endless ocean of love. He has mercy for every sin that we might commit, and that He will remain faithful to us. So if we are going to make any steps towards holiness, we need to be more like God. We need to be more loving toward God and toward every single person in our life. We need to be seeking forgiveness, but also offering forgiveness to every single person in our life, even if it is an annoying brother or sister. And finally, we need to be faithful. We need to be obedient to the commands that God has given us. We need to be faithful to our prayer life, to our friendships, to our relationships, unshakable and faithful to what we have determined to do. So that is holiness, to be more like God. And so, Sprouts, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning where we're talking about what it might mean to be holy. This is a quest that we will be on for our entire life. We might make progress. We might fall backwards, but it is the work of our lives. And so, Sprouts, here is my challenge for you today. I want you to make a simple prayer, but I want you to make it earnestly. And I want you to see today as the first day of your journey toward holiness. Here is the prayer. Lord, make me holy. It's a simple prayer, but it's a powerful prayer if you say it and you really, really mean it. Lord, make me holy. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. One last thing, I'd like to invite all parents and teachers listening to this episode of the Catholic Sprouts to jump on over to YouTube and discover a new channel devoted just to you. Catholic Sprouts for Moms is going to be sharing weekly videos that will hopefully help to inspire you in your own faith journey and become better teachers of the children entrusted to you. That's Catholic Sprouts for Moms, and you can find the direct link in the notes for this episode.